Het jy geweet daar word tequila in die middel van die Karoo gemaak? Leonista, Suid-Afrika se heel eerste tequila, word op die tradisionele Mexikaanse manier gemaak van die agaweplant wat in die Karoo groei. Die stigter Kennan sluit nou vanuit Kaapstad by ons aan. Sarah, welcome. Have you always been an entrepreneur?
Thanks for having me. And I would say no, but I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. So from the beginning, I went to business school and, did a whole lot of different jobs in preparation to start my own business. And Leonista just happened to be the business.
It's crazy that you refer to it like that. We've had so many guests on the show that says, well, I studied, then did another job, and by the way, then I became an entrepreneur. So the question is always, how did you think that Leonista was potentially going to be a good business?
I guess it just evolved from an idea that was in the back of my mind. I knew that agave grew very well in South Africa. So I went basically on a research trip to Mexico, which was just a holiday in essence, but it became a surfing tequila mezcal tour. And while I was there, basically the idea just formed and became more real and became, I could visualize it better. So from that trip was very inspired, came back to South Africa, found the agave farmers in South Africa. I knew how to make it because I'd learned it from the distillers there, in Mexico. And then, I launched Leonista, which basically means lion energy. When you drink good quality tequila, you feel a very good buzz. So you feel the lion energy. And Leonista means, lion person or lion energy. So I guess the idea just formed gradually. And then, we have it here.
So you talk about drinking good quality tequila. I know very little about it, to be quite frank. And what's the difference between a good quality tequila and one that's not a good quality?
Good question. Okay, so basically a bad quality tequila is the one that you've gotten at 4 a.m, plastic shot glass, and gives you a gag reflex and a hangover in the morning. That's called a mixto. So it's basically mixed with cane spirit or some cheap spirit to make it cheap and taste horrible. So the good quality tequila is 100% agave. So whether it's a mezcal, a tequila, an agave spirit, if it says 100% agave on the bottle, that's good quality premium stuff because that means it's 100% made from the plant. There's no additives. And you're going to get all the beautiful energy that good quality tequila is meant to give you.
So one thing that I didn't know, and it's probably the same as wine, is it takes 12 years for the plant to mature. Does that mean only at 12 years you can actually do a decent harvest to make the tequila? Isn't that a difficult business?
It's a patience game. But luckily, we've had the agave growing in the Karoo for hundreds of years because the Karoo farmers use it as an emergency food for animals in times of drought. So luckily, we've got a great stockpile of agave ready to use. Fields of gold, I call it. And what we do now is we have a production schedule where for every agave harvested, we have 3 that plant. So we've got a whole sustainability and long-term vision plan in place to make sure that we're not going to run out.
Yeah. So I really do like your brand message, and I think that's really what. So I've tasted your product before, and what stood out for me was the fact that you actually encourage responsible drinking. Why was that important for you, and also important for the brand?
I think in South Africa, the culture around tequila drinking is the shooter experience. Whereas in Mexico, it's a totally different experience. It's a slow sipping, almost like drinking whiskey in Scotland. That's the culture in Mexico. So I wanted to try change the culture of tequila drinking in South Africa to a more conscious, slow sipping experience. Because if you drink with respect, I call it, slow sip, enjoy the flavor, you're going to have an amazing night out, high energy and minimal hangover in the morning. Tequila is not meant to have this bad experience attached to it. It's meant to have a very positive experience attached to it. And the best way to have that positive experience is to drink with respect because it's a powerful spirit. So you got to treat it with respect and it'll respect you back.
So if you could give some startups any advice that you wish you had when you started Leonista, what would that be?
I guess just know that it's a long journey and have fun all along the way, because you think it'll take so long, it's going to take double as long. You think it's going to take so much money, it's going to take double as much money. So just make sure you're having fun along the way, because yeah, it's going to be a long journey and you might as well have fun.
So one thing that I've seen on the show is the only way for most products to stand out is if they do really good branding and really decent marketing. You operate in a trade where it's quite difficult to stand out. What's your advice for startups? How do they even start the brand, and what was important for you when you designed the specific brand?
I guess what's important is to really believe in the brand message, and to really make sure your product pops on shelf. So, I mean, we've got 2 products here, and you'll see the one really pops, which is the Reposado Black. And so, yeah, I mean, that was something that we didn't start with in the beginning. So it all comes through in trial and error. So you think you're going to have a full plan and it's going to be perfect, but in the end, just getting the minimum viable product out there, getting it on shelf, getting consumers, interacting with it, you'll learn as you go.
Yeah.
So do your best to get it there, but then be open to change, be open to feedback, to improve and to get better. And that's what we've done, and hope to keep improving on.
Sarah, thank you so much. You've got a fascinating and inspirational story. Thank you so much. Pieter Du Plessis en Viljoen de Kok het 7 jaar terug begin om koeldrankkonsentraat, die meeste van ons ken dit in Engels as cordial, by informele markte begin verkoop. Vandag produseer hulle 'n unieke suikervrye koeldrankkonsentraat waarmee hulle onlangs die Engine Pitch and Polish kompetisie wat meer as R1 miljoen se prysgeld insluit gewen het. Ons neem goue advertensiebreek waarna Pieter en Viljoen meer oor die groei van hulle eie besigheid geweet vertel. Ons is nou weer terug.